What is going on today, people? So this is like the first video since seems like forever that we're in the shop doing some work. First day back in the garage from UCC. So as you probably just saw, we're buttoning up the 05 here quick. Give you a quick update on the 05, quick update on the first gen, update on Andrew's truck, because as most of you guys who met us out there were like, oh, where's Andrew? He was home working on the mega cab, and we have some more news about that truck. So let's get to it. Let's get to the updates. So as you probably saw with the last video with Jesse in it, intercooler radiator, whatever the hell you want to call it, back in, just got finished putting the lower upper hoses back on. I actually got the intercooler boots on, tightened up, clamped up, got the overflow all hooked up. I got distilled water the other day and I totally forgot that. I forgot to grab some coolant. So I was gonna fill this up, but we'll get to that a little bit later. I did mention that we were gonna try and reroute these and change them to AN lines, but the fittings were on back order. They are still on back order, so these are gonna be staying for the time being, you know, at least until they can come in and we got some time. But for now, we're gonna get this thing going. Ordered the fittings for the air dogs. Another thing I'm hoping to accomplish today with the new bracket, get both air dogs mounted up over there. I'm going to finish test fitting the wheels. We only test fit one of them the other day. They're still stacked up over here. We're going to test fit all those just to make sure they're good. I did order tires for them. Dunfab Motorsports. You guys saw us down there before getting Andy's wheels and tires mounted up. They ordered me tires. We're going to get them in. We're going to head down there, get them mounted up soon. What else? I did buy some caliper paint because, as you can see, they're not the best looking behind the factory wheels behind there. We're going to get those painted up. That way when the new wheels go on and you can see them, that they'll be looking good. I also forgot to mention that, seeing that the front end is now back together, we're going to swap over all the bumper bracketry, get that bumper put back on, or at least the support anyway. That way when the cover is back, it'll just go right on. Which brings me to my actual next update with this truck. So on my way back from UCC, I text the painter, and I'm not really dealing with a body shop per se. I'm dealing with somebody who's got a lot of auto body expertise but does it on the side. So what he said is one of the patch panels that he's been waiting on, it's already all cut out. The rust is already cut out. He's ready to patch that in, smooth it all out. Basically, he's waiting on that patch, and it is supposedly somewhat on back order. So he's on the phone calling every day. He's painting the rest of this stuff soon. So now that the wheels are in, now that the air dogs are going to get mounted up here shortly, really the only thing left on the 05 is the body work, which is really out of my control. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit longer on that. So as far as this truck, like, you know, be up and running ready in like a week or two, that's probably not going to happen. Once the body work is done and everything's back and everything's up and running, I still got to go back down to my buddy Muldoon's diesel, get the valve body pressures bumped up just a little bit from when he built it. They were a little bit low. So we're going to check that out. And also then we need to get on the dyno, get it dyno tuned to make sure my boost and drive pressures, all the tuning is in check on the dyno before we hit the strip. The last thing I really want to do is rush getting to the track and not be in somewhat of a controlled circumstance to where, okay, keep bumping the tuning up and up and up, and then we can see the levels of everything as it's happening and we can kind of shut it down. Versus on the track, if you're on the track, there's no way you're looking at the gauges until the pass is already done. So I don't really want that to happen. So we're going to take some necessary precautions, go down to the dyno, get it on the dyno, and then you know, just double check everything there before we go to the track. So I think that's enough of a 05 update. The other thing I did mention too as well, which we'll see how far we get today, is changing these CP3 return lines to getting them to different like bulkhead style fittings, which we're going to get rid of these factory restrictions in there. So we'll see if we get to that, but that's still on the list to do. Just little things that, you know, we're knocking out here very shortly. All right, so on to the first gen update. What is going on with this thing? Why is there a tarp over it? Well, there's nothing really going on with it. I put a tarp over it because I have a car cover on order for it. Not that it even really needs it, but if you know anything about first gens, here, let me show you a little bit here. You know that these first gens have a drip rail right here that goes all the way around, kind of goes all the way around here. Now this truck was actually covered when we got it. It was in that, you know, lean-to barn looking kind of thing. So it really never had rain sit in that sill, and I really want to keep it that way. Seeing that we can't throw it in the garage because there's just 10 tons of crap in there. You know, I got a car cover, a truck cover, whatever you want to call it. That way it can always stay covered. Water can stay out of the bed. You know, this nice paint job, you know, we want to keep that mint. So, but really it's just for the rain. Besides that, I think we have a day coming up here that we're going to spend some time going over this thing top to bottom. Like I mentioned, before we really start driving it, we need to get the front end checked out, change all the fluids. Hasn't been driven for like 10 years. Well, not driven for 10 years, but none of the fluids have been changed for a long time. So started to get all that. You guys told me that the brake booster needs to be changed. I did see that there's a shaft inside of the cab that looks like it's all torn up. So we're going to change the brake booster coming up here shortly. One of the other major things that I want to do before we drive it is take the front end apart. This is all valve covers because they were leaking. Dowel pin stuff, front main seal, oil filter, fuel filter, you know, another timing cover seal, and I already said front main seal. But this is all the stuff that you need to do all I'm sorry, I'm blabbing. Killer dowel pin. This is all stuff for the killer dowel pin. I want to do that before we drive it, and that screws everything up. So we're going to do that as well. Alright, so update on Andrew's truck. As you can see, he did go with the black headlights, black fog lights. I think it looks really good with the black wheels. As far as the motor stuff go, as you can probably tell, it is all back together. While we were gone, Andrew pretty much knocked out putting a new front main seal, the new oil pump, the whole new filter housing, which is going to be very hard to see now that all the turbo and stuff and everything's back on. So the issue was that pressure regulator in the assembly. The pressure regulator was basically jammed stuck, and that was basically causing zero oil pressure. So before he put it back together, he did run a hose into a bucket again. We did order a drive pressure gauge and a oil pressure gauge that he's going to run in the cab from now on. But just to verify before everything went back together, he did put a hose in a bucket just to verify that they did have oil pressure quite a bit more than what it did before. So new oil pump, new front main seal. Again, going to be very hard to tell with it all back together. New fluid dampener, engine damper. Let me see if I can show it to you underneath here. Yeah, can't really tell. One thing that is kind of cool that I didn't know is the new fluid damper is they come with a tone ring completely attached, whereas usually it's two pieces. One goes on before the other. These new ones are actually completely one piece on these common rail Dodges, which I thought was kind of cool. So ARP bolts to go with that. Kind of painted everything while it was out, but so far running good. Now the third charger that's on here, we did change sizes up. Now this is a 6-blade 471 96 wheel, which is rather on the large size 1.0 housing to really... Oh. Hey, Russell! That was my buddy Russell, the Ford guy who likes to drive past like an idiot. Yeah, I know you watch these. Stop driving like an idiot. Messing up my audio. Anyway, Barter built 471 96 1.0 housing. That should really help cool things down, keep the drive pressure in check, especially you know, at very high-end stuff. So that's where we're at with everything. Fingers crossed. He did drive it around a little bit. He's going to drive it here in a little bit just to the gym and back. We do want to get that oil pressure gauge in there just to verify everything is 100%, but good to go for now. Oh, need a little slam job. Oh, slammer job. There we go. But again, black headlights, black fog lights, looks really great. Looks mean. Tow pig, no updates on the tow pig. Handled that 10-hour one-way trip, 20 hours this weekend like a champ. No issues, nothing wrong. Just needs a good bath, as you saw. It's really dirty. That's about it. Brief grinding break for the startup. Alright, back to grinding. And before you say it, I know there's a million different ways, more professional ways, safer ways. I get it, I know. We're just getting her done. That's all we're doing. We're getting it done. So now we're just going to smooth it out with the flap wheel here. If you don't know what these things are and how awesome they are, you are missing out on life. Alright, so here again, like I mentioned before, factory fast bracket. This is the new bracket where both air dogs are going to sit, one on each side. You can see that I made it a little bit longer, taller to move them up higher, and a thicker diameter to help with the additional weight. So what we're going to do, we're going to bring this one over there, drill the holes that are in this one, we're going to put that on that, and start mounting them up, get some holes drilled. Yes, my drill is on fire. Woo, stinky. This is the one we drill all the fuel sumps out with, so it gets dumped with fuel on it. Yes! We did it. We did it, boys. Okay. So now what we can do is hold this up like so. Before I drill these, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a vise. I'm going to get a clamp that, and then simulate the air dogs. That way I can make sure it doesn't need to move before I permanently drill holes in that. Oh, this is where an extra set of hands would be really awesome. think we're good, guys. I got this fitting here that's preventing this from coming all the way down and kind of being like how it normally would. That is going to move, so that won't be so kinked, and then that'll fix that. But basically, this mount is perfect. I can pretty much just line these, you know, right up just like that, sandwiched against here, right to the brim of that. I can actually still get both the filters off, and they're high enough away from the leaf spring, and then the other one can just through bolt just like that on the outside, and I think we're good. This thing's gonna work out great. So pretty much done. I just gotta drill the holes and then kind of mount up one of these brackets on here, drill through there to through bolt them, and then I'll just paint this bracket, and these fittings to start making up the line should be in any day now, and then I can order the hose ends of all the bends. And I got my new fuel sump, so we can start making some hoses, and then we're rolling. We are rolling. Oh, because normally it's going to be like that, so we got plenty of room. Woohoo! Now, I don't have another small 3/8 drill bit, but we do have this guy. Time out, phone's ringing. All right, guys, finally back. It's on the phone with the Nolster. Try to get this wrapped up here. I was looking for bolts while I was in there. I don't think I have bolts for these. Okay. Holes are all drilled. Let's get this test mounted up, and then we can break it all down and paint. All right, new bracket mounted on there. I don't have 7/16 bolts, so I got some smaller ones, but they'll do the job to kind of show you guys what it all looks like. Bang bang, 2 air dog pumps. The fender liner should come right about here, which it did like last time. I believe it comes like right here, which will leave me just enough room to kind of get to this fitting going to the fuel sump. Plenty of room up here. Now you might think that it looks high. The bed, like I mentioned, actually humps up right here. This is kind of that empty space, so this should have enough room here as well. So I'm very happy with it. I think I got plenty enough room to do whatever I can do. And literally when the bed is on this truck, you're not going to be able to see or hear these things either for that part. So extremely pumped with the way everything came out. I know this bracket is strong enough. I actually stood on it before when the camera wasn't on, but super strong. Definitely not have to worry about that. I could actually trim some of this a little bit. I might actually just, you know, chop just a little bit here. I'm gonna leave most of it just for the strength. You know, it's not really hurting anything. All right, dismantle that, get it all painted up, put it on there. I think what I'm gonna do now is start to count how many 90s, all the hose ends basically of all the bends. I always try and mount everything where I think it's gonna be, and then know if I need like 45s, 90s straights. Those things can get kind of expensive, so I really try and count each and how many I need beforehand, before I order, and then, yeah. You picking up what I'm putting down, man? This will be nice too, because this is basically the correct orientation. This pump's actually supposed to be this way, and what I can do with the fender liner in there, I can just pop that fender liner out, get to my adjustments here, say they need to be adjusted for whatever reason, but that'll be really nice. This will basically work out perfect, exactly how I want it to be, and I'll have enough room for everything. So big old thumbs up in my opinion. Not bad for just another average Joe in the garage, let me tell you. Alright guys, pretty much gonna wrap up tonight. Didn't get to that. Did get 2 of the front calipers painted. I should say the front 2 calipers painted. Of course there's no lighting so you can't really see, but I did get them painted up. They look good. Stand back here, see if you can see them. Not really, but just gloss black, that way when the wheels go on, they don't stick out like a sore thumb, they get all rusted. I did cut a little bit off right here, got that painted gloss black, so that's done. I gotta go get new bolts and mount everything up, but I should be able to wrap that up. But no progress. I messed that up. But some progress is better than no progress. So got some work. Got some work done on the 05 tonight. Didn't seem like much, but I feel good about it. Moving in the right direction. Jesse will be here tomorrow. Got some cool stuff planned for you guys with him. Working on the first gen here shortly. Gonna start pounding away on that. There's a lot that needs to be cleaned up. Like, I don't know. I just, like, there's wiring that's just exposed that needs to come out because it's not really doing anything. There's like a lot of little stuff to get it like clean, in my opinion. So we're gonna be doing that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, as always. Super appreciate it. Hit the like button if you haven't already before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't. There's no light in this garage, I know. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.